It's the VL. It's the same tagline you get when you go to the front bar.
The 4 limiter.
Luke Davison, You Got ID, will be up next. Check out this replay from Cohen Walters. Rear glass pops open as soon as he gets into the tip in.
Yeah, shuts itself back off though once he whips it back around the other way. But Cohen's going to be pretty happy with this one. The smoke scores were right up there, and ooh, that was very, very close. I saw a bit of a change in direction there in the rear end. I don't know how that's going to be called by the judges, so I won't say anything, but it does look like there may have been a little bit of a tap as he brings it into the entry chute, and just look at the smoke scores this car was producing. Heaps of smoke.
And 4 limiter dirtied up the camera lens as well, up on the entry chutes. Unfortunately, he did drop a bit that required a very quick clean-up, so we spoke too soon about being a good thing, and we had to tidy that up real quick. Next up, here we go, straight into it. Luke Davis in You Got ID.
Big tip in, but does not want to go any further than that, Chris.
Yeah, same struggle he had on Friday night with trying to stop it from dying. He came out for the motivation super cruise, and the thing was practically stalling while just sitting still at the start line. So might be a minor issue with the tune on this car. Just wants to die out, runs the idle a bit too low, or maybe the mixture a bit too fat. It's got a really big amount of hunting and starvation in it when it sits at idle. But once he keeps it going, Luke Davis has all the party.
And you've just given it the mockers, Chris.
It's still turning over.
Yes, no, that is true.
Oh, no, it's not. No. Damn it. As soon as he
Straight
said
back
it,
into the party, though.
the pulley turns again, and so do the tyres. I wonder if it's just going to coax him into holding it absolutely.
Yeah, now it's an angry skid.
to the carpet.
Gotta love the love hearts out the passenger side. You got ID showing up, and unfortunately just having some teething issues once again.
Yeah, a couple of stalls after the tip in.
Big tip in. But does
And
not
Luke had to fire it up not once but twice struggle here in the skid to try and get it back underway. Trying to stop it from dying. And he continued to have a crash. Nonetheless, putting on a show for the fans here at Alice Springs. Davis still in You Got ID. Start line, so sharing the love. Might be a minor issue with the tune on this car. Across just the pad. Wants to die out as we head back live now to the start line. Next up, Tyson Smith coming out to play. It's Krasny.
Well, I know the Stainer family going to be happy with that one. Tyson Smith in crazy. And I think we're not done yet because I think he's clacked the wall on the way out. Well, tried to get it out. And
we're watching the replay on screen right now, but Tyson Smith has Austin Powers it in the exit chute.
Oh, no.
Like, this is comical. Can we go back and have a look at it, actually, where it sits right now, out the back of this replay, because it's in a funny position. Look at it. Oh, there's no wall behind him. That's all right. But how about the parking job from Tyson Smith?
He must have hit the rear end, like, as he's coming out of the burnout there.
And how's old mate climbing over the fence and reaching over to the engine bay?
Who the fuck is that?
As Tyson has parked it up, and they're going to push him out the exit chute here. And unfortunate for Tyson, he hit the wall trying to leave the pad. Make some noise, Alice Springs, for crazy.
Unfortunate there for him. Very much so. That was a stellar burnout right until the end there. Because we cut away, I don't know exactly what happened, but it looked like the rear end clapped the exit chute, and it's thrown it nose down in there. So that'll be interesting to see how he scores and judges after that. But it looks like up on the start line is Harry Seaman and Hazard.
What a beautiful looking car here. Harry Seaman waiting to embark on his skid entry.
Just push it.
As he sits in the entry chute, just waiting for the instructions to come from the starter. The 202 powered VK with a very interesting and a different engine combination to what we're used to seeing from this kind of car. He's got the offset blower sitting on top as well. Still makes a fair amount of power. Bring him on down, Alice Springs. Harry Seaman in Hazard.
Get the Hazard tape out because I think we're going to have to get it out after that. What a burnout there from Harry Seaman in Hazard.
Yeah, it started off a little bit janky though. Struggled to turn the tyre and get it started. But once he got going, puts that blown 202 to good use. Pushing out plenty of smoke from the rears.
Yeah, just kept locking the front
and
brakes.
Having plenty of fun.
But got there in the end, Chris. Good smoke scores there.
Lots of work up there in the entry chute too. Turned it back around. It's a really interesting note from this car, from Harry Seaman. And he really got to work on those smoke scores, but I think he might have left a little bit of cleaning up to do on the pad after that burnout might have got a bit hot and heavy in the late stages of the skid. Our fire crew on the scene just looking for a bit of the cleanup job to try and help things out here. It seems to be a recurring theme here in your Burnout Finals. This is the best of the rest right now, with only one left to go here in your best of the rest competition, fighting it out for that one wild card spot to head to CentreNATS 36. And look at the carnage that was left behind by Harry Seaman across the red CentreNATS burnout pad. Green flag is in the air though, and the fans are getting revved up. Make some noise, Alice Springs. Got the kids on the fence, pumping it up for your next contender. And it's going to be Dutchy Holland, Dr. Steve.
Gonna need a doctor
Dr.
after
Steve.
that one. Dutchy Holland, pretty good burnout there, getting a nice chip in. Just a little bit of smoke dying down there, but getting straight back into it, Chris.
It faded a little bit towards the end there for Dr. Steve. Dutchy Holland at the wheel, but he drove off the pad, and that's more than some can say from their Burnout Finals today. As we believe that is the last of the best of the rest competition, so we're moments away from getting stuck into pro for your pro Burnout Finals. The ball draw has been completed. We have the lineup of pro cars getting ready to come out and play. Your lineup will see Nathan Sutherland in killer set coming out first in the pro order. Ryan Lofts in Or What will come out second, followed by John O'Kelly in 355. Who thinks John O'Kelly can take it out today? Lynchy will be out number 4. Spotto 57, Stephen Robson coming out as skid number 5, ahead of Loose Q in the number 6 spot. Todd Stewart in Unfazed with the HJ Holden in position number 7. Kyle Douglas will bring the Hilux out as the 8th skidder onto the red CentreNATS burnout pad in Luxifer. Jay Chun Tai with Tiny Towing. The Suzuki Carry Ute will come out as number 9. And the number 10 ball draw, Jake Myers in Sicko, will see them all from the return road, and he'll be the last one to come out in your 10-car Pro Burnouts field.
Very, very interesting indeed, and there's quite a bit of money up for grabs here. I believe it's $13,000 in the prize pool for just the pros.
And 10K to win. Here's a replay of the highlights from your best of the rest. Matt Watts in Blow Up, seeking some redemption after hitting the fence in Friday night's qualifying session. Came out and hit it hard on the red CentreNATS burnout pad. Clickbait. Always fun to watch this car. I was so excited seeing it on the entry list for red CentreNATS 09 before it got a bit hot and toasty at across the red CentreNATS burnout pad. Big bad blown combination. He kept just pushing the flames out and kept our fire crew well and truly occupied during the best of the rest competition. Then the Skid Kid came out to play and went for a big gutsy tip in on a very slick center of the pad, and right here almost fired into the fence in the back end of the pad. Got pretty close on a couple of other occasions as well.
Yeah, definitely. Then we had just 6 out on the pad, and that thing was screaming with the 4-litre barra motor. Got the double pod out the bonnet there. It's always great to see the no bonnet brigade out here at red CentreNATS on the burnout pad.
Then we kicked it on. Jared Fiorenza, Big Italy. The blown 6-cylinder 250 cross-flow combination in the old Ford Ute. Having plenty of fun here in the red centre. He's had a big time the last couple of weeks before he heads back home to the West Coast. The 4-limiter.
Then we had Cohen Walters in 4-limiter. The passenger in that one was super keen. It was a good tip in and ended up being a pretty good burnout there from Cohen Walters in 4-limiter after Friday night's excursion, as he continued to ride the wall. But a little bit of a touch there
ID
on the rear quarter.
You got ID then. Luke Davis came up next and suffered the same issues from Friday night, but the engine stalling out on multiple occasions during his time on the burnout pad. We put a bit of commentator's curse on him as well because he got it fired up, got going and said, yeah, no worries, it's good to go, before it died again later on in the skid. Passengers pretty stoked though, having some fun with this blown Commodore combination at the start lines.
Then we had Crazy out on the burnout pad again. Very good burnout here from Crazy, but unfortunately it all came undone in the very end of the burnout, clipping the wall on the exit chute and finding himself in a bit of a awkward position.
Yeah, pretty solid job of parking that thing though across the return road coming off the burnout pad. Seaman! And then Harry Seaman Hazard in the blown 6-cylinder combination. The blown 202 in Hazard came out and tried to put down his best. The red CentreNATS burnout pad. Looking for that wildcard ticket to go to CentreNATS 36, January 2024. Entries are completely sold out. Tickets on sale at the moment. It will sell out. So if you want to go to CentreNATS in the new year, you better get your entry in or you get your tickets right now. As lastly it was Dutchy Holland with Dr. Steve.
Very good burnout there from Dr. Steve, pumping out a heap of smoke as we look out into the crowd here at the Alice Springs Inland Dragway. Alice, are you ready to hear some noise for our pro finals here at Alice Springs Inland Dragway for red CentreNATS 09?
Green flag in the air. It's time to get underway. It's Pro Class, baby, here at red CentreNATS. Nathan Sutherland going to be your first person to open up proceedings for the Pro Class finals. Please welcome Killer Set.
Well, it all goes quiet for Nathan Sutherland. No tyres off yet, but it was looking very, very good for Killer Set. And unfortunately,
He's trying to stab the butterflies. It's still running, or he managed to get it fired up. I didn't get to hear whether it had stayed alive, but he gets back into it and lights up the rears. So a stoppage in the burnout here for Sutherland. It's going to hurt the scores.
Nathan Sullivan, unfortunately,
Dr.
having that
Steve.
stop there has hurt his score. The number one ball draw out to play. Heaps of smoke until it all went quiet.
Yeah, it's a relatively quiet combination here in the pro class, but plenty of fun across the red CentreNATS burnout pad. I love that purple combination as well. Such a brilliant paint color. The candy purple for Killer Sets. Unfortunately, he did have that stoppage throughout the burnout, which is going to be painful as the green goes back in the air. This time, it's for Ryan Lofts. Who's ready to see this man skid? It's all what?
Both tyres off for Ryan
See,
Lofts
this man
in
skid
or
is all
what?
what?
And look at the instant smoke. Scores on that one, they'll be high. And I think Ryan's done everything right there in that skid. Ticked all the boxes. It's going to be hard to beat.
It sure will be. Love the coloured smoke as well from Ryan Lofts. Always a menace here at Red CentreNATS. And a force to be reckoned with on the burnout pad. I'm going to be excited to see how he stacks up in the scores. Plenty of party to get it all the way to the finish as well as we head back towards the start line. Green flag in the air for this man. Please welcome, rocking the big old NASCAR engine 355, it's John O'Kelly. How about it, Alice Springs? Make some noise for John O'Kelly in 3.55. All the RPMs. The 358 Cube NASCAR motor powering this thing. Epic skid and a mad drive job. Let's check out the replay here.
Bringing all the revs here. Chris, I think he turned that one up to around about 10,000 RPM. The tuner said, yes, Jono, send it.
If we send a piston into orbit, it's okay. We can rebuild it. But all the revs for John O'Kelly. He loves this place. He loves this event. And he loves the big party out on pad. How about it for this man, though? Oh, yes, it's time for Lynchy.
Both tyres off for the madman himself, Andrew Lynch. Absolutely sending it in that tip-in. The best tip-in we've seen all weekend. This man was driving like a man possessed.
Look at it. 1, 2, and then gets it around. Unbelievable. Through the center of the pad for Andrew Lynch. The people's champ driving this Lynchy Corolla. The fans going wild for Lynchy here in Alice Springs. He was so close to the wall on multiple occasions, we thought he was for sure going to hit the fence, but he's kept the corners clean and he's got the job done. Next up, please welcome Stephen Robson, Spot 057. Oh no, Spot 057 got it stuck in the fence. Has to grab reverse gear. Give him a cheer, Alice Springs. Time to hit it with some angry stick.
Stephen Robson, Spotto 57.
Devon
Was going well there, a heap of smoke there and huge blue plumes of it as well, but unfortunately just nosing it up to the fence and having to grab reverse.
Yeah, that's the big blemish on the scoreboard there for Stephen Robson in Spotto 57. What a story for this man this week, though. After breaking a drive shaft, requiring a replacement, he outsourced it to social media, got the help he needed, came back out for Burnout qualifying and made it into the finals and drew number 5, putting us halfway through your Pro Class finals here at Alice Springs for Red CentreNATS 09. But man, oh man, getting caught up there and needing to grab reverse. We might see it on the stream. There it is. Up against the fence, and he tried his hardest to try and drive it out. You can see he got it caught, and he just couldn't drive along the fence any better. Was completely on the lock stops and trying to hop it around, but ultimately let it die off, no. Had to grab reverse gear. 57, got it stuck in the fence. Then he knows by that point his chances of being near the top of the score sheets are pretty much over. And it's just time to get out and have some fun. Next up, Jack Seaman bringing us Loose Q.
Whether you can hear me or not, ladies and gentlemen in the crowd, Jack Seaman in that lovely, lovely loose Q, and the revs on board that thing. Chris, I don't think I can hear.
Oh man, what an incredible skid there from Jack. He's hoping for some high scores here at Red CentreNATS 09. Looking to be a winner. Everyone wants to be out of these 10 Pro Class contestants who made it through to the finals today. Big scores for the smoke, lots of revs.
Good use of the pad.
Yeah, very good use of the pad. He wasn't moving too quickly, and sometimes that can take away from your smoke scores. Kept it up nicely with the wind. Pretty decent here in Alice Springs right now. Blowing the smoke very quickly away from the centre of the Red CentreNATS burnout pad. But look at that, Huey, just pumping those rear tyres. As Jack romps his way to getting 2 tyres off and returns back to the pits. Pretty happy for himself with his efforts there.
Heaps of smoke on that burnout. And again, it's really hard to call these skids. It's going to be very, very close. It's going to be interesting to see who we crown as our new winner here in the Red Centre a little bit later on tonight.
So we do have the Bobcat back on the pad right now. So we're going to go to the highlights of the Pro Class so far here in your finals. While the Bobcat gets to work, Nathan Sutherland with killer set. That beautiful purple people eater here at Red CentreNATS. How good was this, Josh? Just a beautiful skid to start off your Pro Class Finals.
Yeah, it was. Love the paint job on this thing as well. And it was a pretty good burnout to start off the pros here at Red CentreNATS 09.
Next up, we had Ryan Lofts
skid,
in
it's
the
all
all-white
white.
Calais. This absolute madman, hailing all the way from Queensland, meeting us in the middle here in the red centre. Rocking the coloured smoke for his final skid. I'm actually a very big fan of this car. Beautiful work there from Ryan. Knows this pad pretty well. Knows how to get around. And making it happen here in the finals. A very stellar effort. Then the former Burnouts winner, John O'Kelly, with a 358 cube NASCAR engine with all the revs. 355. Josh, this is a bit of a fan favourite around these parts.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. It's one of my fan favourites here in the red centre. And John O'Kelly, look at the time he had in that car. He was having a heap of fun. And the smoke scores, driver skill, it was all there. Another one that's going to be hard to beat.
Next up, we picked up with Andrew Lynch. Look at this tip in. Left hand down, gets one around, two around, and almost gets the full three. We'll count that. Tip in of the week. The best we've seen here at Red CentreNATS all week long. The People's Champ, look at him just wrestling the steering wheel, trying to wheel this little Corolla around the pad here in Alice Springs. And driving like a man possessed. He's well known. He's got a reputation for driving like a lunatic. But man, oh man, kept it off the walls, kept his nose clean, and is definitely going to score high with the judges here. Andrew Lynch.
Yeah, driver skill on that skid, it was absolutely insane. And look at the body roll on that little thing as well. You can tell he is throwing it as the V8 powered Corolla sings through
Devon.
Red CentreNATS pad, and then Spotto 57, Chris.
Yeah, this man coming out to play. He started off with that slow crawl down the entrance chute, just keeping the smoke right up, and gives the crowd a very big dose of it before he brought the 210 two-door coupe down into the Red CentreNATS burnout pad. Ultimately, he did find the wall and have to grab reverse of the skid, which is going to hurt his scores. But it's been a big week for this man. We'll follow this along. Love the blue smoke from the back of the 57. Clean looking car with a lot of fans here in the top end of Spotto 57.
Yeah, come all the way from North Queensland as well, so quite a big pilgrimage to meet us back here in the middle once again. And then we had Jack Seaman in that HQ tonner, loose Q, bringing the revs.
Yeah, lots of revs. A brilliant sound from the back of this Q tonner. Having plenty of fun, looking to score well with the judges. He was getting a bit of that slow motion movement around the pad. Wasn't really picking up tons of speed. Doesn't want to find himself spearing towards the fences. But plenty of smoke from Jack Seaman in that HQ one-tonner. The loose Q all the way up the entry chute. We haven't seen many people going all the way to the top point of the entry chute, but he made the point of making all the way to the top there, bring it back into the center of the pad, and back into party. And that's all we've had so far in your pro class. The Bobcat, skid steer, still putting in the work here in the Red CentreNATS burnout pad. So we're not too far away from getting into the next 4 cars that are yet to come here in your pro class.
Those kids are very happy. Look at that.
Look at them. Dedicated burnout fans. Copped himself a sidewall. Bit of shredded rubber to take home as a memento here from Alice Springs.
Great to see the kids loving life.
We're going to have a quick look once again of the open class finals that took place earlier. From Queensland, Marcus East. Marcus East having a skid here. This was double entity qualifying for Marcus and Dominique here at Red CentreNATS.
Yeah, TJ Hush in his Commodore made it into the finals and did a pretty standout skid, did TJ. He'll be happy with that one. Only his second time skidding that car, I do believe. got that one on loan this weekend. Then it's Stephen Goodwin out in Don't Hate. This thing had some awesome coloured smoke out the back of it.
He was actually putting down some pretty solid skill points as well, dragging the rear end along the fence before we went to Connor Tatani in the big Volvo. And then Chris Habib Prasad, the local man in the Commodore. My favourite from the open class, Frank Pazel, the rub one out Corolla. I love a short wheelbase car in the skids. And then we went to Kenton Clow in Ken Oath.
Yeah, big driver skill on that one as well. Another one of the locals that knows this pad very, very well. And is very, very happy with that burnout you can see here. Then
now we go back to the start line, waiting to put on a show for these Alice Springs fans. As the Bobcat finishes to clean up, final eyes on. As this man, Todd Stewart, in the HJ Holden. Please welcome Unfazed.
Well, it goes quiet and Unfazed, unfortunately, smacks the wall hard. Todd Stewart, put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for that lovely HJ sedan. Heaps of smoke, heaps of driving skill until it all went undone on that entry chute.
Yeah, he went real shallow on the way in with the tip into the pad as well. There for Toddy Stewart. Tons of smoke, was looking really good. Trying to score well here in your Pro Class finals. Remembering Burnout Masters tickets up for grabs here in your Pro Class. Heading to CentreNATS 36. 2 Masters tickets to be claimed here in your Pro Class. Some wildcards going through the field as well. Unfazed, pumping out those rear tyres. Fan favourite with lots of love coming for that colour scheme. Put down a pretty brilliant skid on Friday night during qualifying as well. Unfortunately, might have just got a little bit lost on pad, lost in the smoke a tiny bit. Or just got a bit too aggressive with the car. We'll see it soon here on the replay. Whack right there. Just
Big
lost
time.
where the corner of the wall was because it's offset. See how it's not linear, not even on that entry chute.
Catches a lot of people out, Chris.
Yeah, knocked the corner out of it and has completely beaten up the back end of the
Well, it goes
HJ.
quiet and Unfazed, unfortunately.
Still some
smacks
smiles
the
inside
wall
the cockpit,
hard.
though, of
Todd Stewart,
Unfazed.
Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen.
Todd Stewart leaves the pad. Just our fire crew checking on things for one last check. Just making sure that everything's A-OK in our pad. Clean and safe. And they are looking at the arm code that sits on that corner that Todd Stewart just hit with the HJ. You can see that right at the bottom of your shot now.
Going to ask him for an invoice on that one. I literally fixed that just before this
Yeah,
event.
you were out on the tools fixing up the pad, mate.
Yeah, so, but that's why we have what we have there. So hopefully takes a little bit less of a brunt.
So let's say thank you to our fire crew and our officials, everyone volunteering their time to make it happen here at Red CentreNATS. not far away. 3 cars left to go here in Pro Class. Shout out to everyone watching live online. We're on YouTube with Performance Garage. Over 700 people watching right now live from Red CentreNATS 09 here in Alice Springs. Make sure you give the page a like and a subscribe. Drive up the numbers and say thanks for giving us a stream as we get ready for this massive monster truck. Kyle Douglas gets his final instructions. He gets it loaded up. This time, it's Lucifer.
Well, both tyres off the back of Lucifer. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Kyle Douglas. What a burnout. The standout there gets the Australian flag and waves it around. And he's got Shook in the passenger seat, the real Shook 3 on Twitch. He live streamed that burnout there. So if you were watching online with him, you would have got a pretty cool experience. But I think that is one of the standout burnouts, Chris.
Yeah, well and truly. Massive skid there from Kyle Douglas in Lucifer. Threw down very well during qualifying to punch his ticket. Check out the coloured smoke. It didn't last long, though. That beautiful yellow and pink streaming out from behind the big old Hilux. I spoke to him on Friday night during qualifying. He sits so high off the ground. I asked him whether he feels like it's going to tip it over, but he's used to it now, and he can't really get around in low cars. But an epic skid. That is going to be one of the top contenders, and I'm sure will challenge the top of the point scores with the judges. We won't find out until the podium party out at Lassiter's Centre of Entertainment from 6 o'clock tonight to wrap up Red CentreNATS 09 here in Alice Springs. Look at the smoke.
What an awesome shot that was.
Well, we're wasting no time. Jay Chuntai comes down into the pad for his final skid. It's Tiny Towing.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Jay Chuntai in Tiny Towing. He's going to get out, rev up the crowd, and he may even have some stubby coolers. Yes, he does. I got one of them yesterday. I was pretty happy. Jay Chuntai in Tiny Towing.
Thanks, mate. Where's mine? Tiny
You gotta
Towing.
go and see him yourself, Chris.
Yeah,
Come
I might
on.
have to. Tiny Towing throwing down on the red CentreNATS Burnout pad for your Pro Class Finals. What a unique vehicle and an epic Burnout car. Let's see the replay here. He was already into it when we cut to the shot.
His final skid, it's Tiny
Blue
Towing.
smoke pluming from those rear tyres. Considering how long the car is, he did a good job to get those rotations in on the tip-in. Probably about 2.2 times the wheelbase of Lynchy's Corolla. So an epic job there from Jay Chuntai. We'll see how he stacks up in the scores as we get through to your final car of the Burnout competition. Make some noise, Alice Springs. Jake Myers in Sicko.
It's one of the best known Burnout cars in the country, let alone the world, ladies and gentlemen. Jake Myers in Sicko, both
Dallas
tyres
Springs,
off, gets
Jake
the job
Myers
done,
in
gets out and
Sicko.
celebrates with the crowd here at Red CentreNATS 09. As we look up to the replay, Chris, that's going to be hard to beat as well. Oh, I wouldn't want to be a judge.
The sheer speed of smoke pouring out from the rear end of that Mustang, just incredible from Myers in the Sicko machine. Tons of noise, tons of smoke, and he didn't really faff about, wasn't doing anything special, nothing silly, just putting it in the corners, working his way around the pad and having a ton of fun with it for the crowd here in Alice Springs. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes your Burnout Finals here at Red CentreNATS. Make sure on your way out you take the final opportunity to grab your merchandise. It's right in front of you as you walk towards the main exits. Red CentreNATS 09 merch, the special merch available right here, will likely sell out. So make sure you get through and take that final chance to get your piece of this fantastic event. It's been an incredible week-long event here in the Red Centre. Thank you very specially to the Northern Territory Government, Northern Territory Major Events, and CentreNATS, plus all of our partners, sponsors. Thanks to all of the entrants who made their way to the Red Centre, and thanks to you guys, all of the crowd who came out in droves for all of our activities. And we have over 160 entries already booked in for Red CentreNATS 10. Make sure you get your entry in. It will sell out for the decade anniversary of this fantastic event. Entries available right now. Thank you to everyone who joined us live online as well. Presentations will be available at Lassiter Centre of Entertainment from 6 o'clock. Be there to join us for the podium party. And if you can't make it, keep an eye out on the Red CentreNATS Facebook page for all the information you can find out who won. We'll see you at Red CentreNATS 10. Good night. See this man's skid, it's all white.